be right back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was checking.
I'm on data man. It was.
I did not.
I hated not to be there.
I might just call the bullies, I think.
Yeah.
I went right by it. So that we had.
Only my kids a good time. More Benzo was my permanent. Yeah, I know it's gonna be a big one. Yeah. But it was something.
He's doing a noise. Hurry up and look at yes.
Coming to get that.
What's up?
Fine, me.
Henry is not running.
On the emails, I don't get any.
Nice to. And this way it is. We gotta go. We're just more headed there. That's what I tell them.
I do think people need to learn how to code it because that would.
Yeah. I did.
You didn't.
Tell you what,
I was like, no.
there for a little bit.
7 a.m. I can't think of it or something.
Yeah, silo.
I think it's
Yeah, it's kind of.
We're not
That's right. That's right.
I was like, ooh.
No,
Changed it.
I just think maybe the volume.
Okay. All right, here we go. It's time to call our meeting to order. But before we start with the pledge, I'd like to have all of our veterans to stand and be recognized. Thank you for your service. If you would just stay standing and we're gonna have Judge Green to do our pledge.
Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Mayor Green to do our prayer.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for your love, your grace, and your mercy. We thank you for the many blessings that you grant to us. And Lord, we ask your special blessing today upon our veterans, upon those who are actively serving today. We thank you for the service that they've provided to this nation and that they continue to provide. We ask your blessings upon all the communities that are represented here. And we thank you for the blessings you provide for us. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
All right, did you catch the green mistake I made there? So just Mayor.
All good.
All good, all right. You have in front of you the minutes from our last meeting. We need a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
There's a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Lee Wilson with our financial report.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You will find the finance report in your packet. As of October the 31st, we should be at 33 1/3 of the overall budget. Actual expenditures reflect 30.09 budgeted amounts. The only amount that is a bit out of variance is staff travel at 37.48, but that's primarily due to the timing of some conferences and training events that should balance out throughout the fiscal year. On the revenue side, 27% of the budgeted revenue has been accrued as of October the 31st. Mr. Chairperson, if there are no additions, corrections, or questions, it is submitted for approval.
Is there a motion?
We approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right. Now moving to our federal and state reports. First up, Ms. Morgan Alvey with Senator McConnell's office.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure you've all saw the media reports, but it does look like there has been a breakthrough in the now 41-day government shutdown. Last night, the Senate took the first procedural vote toward breaking the log jam in a 60-40 vote to advance what will become the compromise deal. There's still several procedural hurdles that need to be overcome, depending upon what sort of agreement they can get in terms of condensing time. So exactly when a final vote could be taken on the package is still to be determined. It could be as soon as today, it could be a few days, depending upon how many procedural hurdles they'll need to overcome. So the compromise deal is a CR, continuing resolution that would run through January 30th. However, there would be 3 of the annual 12 appropriations bills for the full FY 26 that would be attached to it. So those would be MilCon VA, legislative branch, as well as the Ag FDA bill. So for those particular agencies and departments, that would run through the entire fiscal year through next September 30th, while the rest of the government would be funded through January 30th. Again, it looks promising, but I'm hesitant until we have those final votes to say it's a done deal. But last night was a step in the right direction, and hopefully later this week, we'll see final votes in both the Senate, and then of course it will still have to go over to the House before being sent to the president. So on that note, I guess I will defer to my House colleague after that. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Next up, Austin Weatherington with Congressman Comer's office.
Thank you all, and it's great to be back with you all. Morgan said it best, excuse me. But as far as the House side goes, Speaker Johnson has called the House members to start making their travel plans back to DC. So Congressman Comer is doing that right now. We're not sure if it's be by air or by a nice little drive, but we are working that out right now. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But one thing to mention, I just wanted to take a second and honor the veterans in this room as well. Congressman Comer has always been an advocate for them and tries to continue advocating on behalf of the veterans. And so, one of the things I know I talk with our casework team all the time about is we have some VA claims. So one reason why we do need to get the government back open is the VA is not processing those claims right now. So having them in the office to help process those claims is important. And we've had several calls from across the district on trying to get those issues resolved. So we're here to help and want to be here to help. Of course, if you have any constituents that need help with casework, as always, don't hesitate to reach out, but just wanted to take a second and put that plug as well. But now we'll turn it over to the state for their remarks. So looking forward to hopefully getting a budget passed, and we'll be glad to see what comes out of the budget. So thank you all.
All right, thank you, Austin. Next up, we have Alex Caudell and our Martha Jane King, or both, with the governor's office.
Martha Jane's definitely the boss.
Austin asked if I came from Antarctica when I came in here. I said, we have a half inch of snow on the ground in Henderson. So just happened to be here safely today with you all, but good to be back with everyone. A couple of announcements from the Delta Regional Authority. The governor sent his recommendations for the CDAP grants to be approved, and the full board was to vote on those soon. So once the government opens back up, we expect to hear an announcement on those grants coming out from the DRA. And they will be opening up their SIF cycle for applications again soon. And those that were in the queue will also remain in the queue to be processed too. Rocky Atkins was in the Penny Ryle last week, had a good visit in Caldwell County with Judge Newcomb and Judge Young there, checking out that spec building that the state provided a grant for. And then he also announced some Delta Regional Authority funds that came to the city of Madisonville, as well as Muhlenberg County. And Rocky, he'll be speaking at KCO on behalf of the governor Wednesday at 1 p.m. So look forward to seeing many of you all there for that. We do have some transportation announcements that I think my colleague will make. But Governor Beshear will be back in the region on Tuesday, December 9th. He'll be here in Hopkinsville for the Toyota Boshuku grand opening at 10 a.m. So welcome you all to join him for that. And from there, he'll be heading to Princeton and Caldwell County at about 11:45 a.m. to dedicate a few more homes for tornado survivors as we come up on the 4th anniversary of the 2021 tornado. But again, happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans. And on my way back home today, I'll stop and see my granddad at the Veterans Home in Hanson. So thank you to all those who served. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Ms. Parker, okay?
So Alex and I kind of covered for each other a little bit. We had Rocky and the lieutenant governor in the district at the same time. So we both had to be doing things on Thursday. And so that's why I wasn't at the Muhlenberg County event for the DAR money. But that being said, hold on, let me jump to my notes here. So the first thing I got to do in the last couple of weeks was go to the Muhlenberg Middle School where they're using the PAX components. And for you guys that have seen it, it is trying to bring these children more in line with vocational technical work, where they can be exposed to anything, welding, electrical, plumbing, veterinarian, nursing. I don't know what they call it. We used to call it home ec. I don't know what they call it today. Does anybody know?
Consumer science.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And there is a long, there's a long list of things these kids can get exposed to. And to be able to go in there and see them so excited to show you what they are interested in, I'm telling you, the earlier the better, because my husband was one of those people that learned by doing. And if you said you want to read a book or dig a ditch, Stephen would be looking for the shovel. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. He made a great career out of vocational technical and welding. And so I'm all for these kids that want to take that kind of path to have a good career and have something promising for them and not just look at the college bound. And by the way, I took the welding test and I made a 35, and the last time I remember that was an F, so I flunked. After that, we had a road dedication in Muhlenberg County for Warren Oates, an actor that I did not know, but since do know about. And State Representative Brent Yonts, who was my seatmate in the House. And if you ever want to know anything, ask Brent, get ready for a doctoral dissertation, because he definitely knew what he was talking about. The lieutenant governor was in the district too. Last Thursday, we went to the James Madison Middle School where I happened to see Paxton Vincent. Does that name ring a bell? Jackson, I'm sorry. It's all right. But the lieutenant governor too was very impressed with this same modules that they had at Muhlenberg County School for these kids to get so excited about learning all the things that's put in front of them. And I would love to see, and the lieutenant governor expressed the same every school had that. The earlier the better for these kids. I think that it is going to be something that's going to be ever changing for the community. Then the lieutenant governor went to Hopkinsville Community College, and we found out so much more about what they're offering. And everybody was very proud of the aviation school here in Milburn County. I didn't know we had helicopters now, so helicopter training. So very good. Anyway, I want to thank all the veterans for what you have done for the community, for this country. Without you guys, we would not have the freedoms that we have today. So we owe everything to you all. And I can't say enough about y'all having the courage to step in and do the things that is required to do. And unfortunately, only 1% of the people out there today serve in the military. So again, thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I'm finished.
Thank you very much. All right. Now, you're gonna make the others mad that didn't get the clap, so. All right, next up, we have Mr. Greg Meredith with KYTC.
Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for having me and thanks for the lunch. Oh my gosh, I think the brisket is my favorite too. I heard that around and it's so good. So just to report quickly on some transportation items. First on the CCBIP, the City County Bridge Improvement Program. This Friday marks the end of this application period. We've got probably 25 or 30 bridges that have been submitted for funding for this round. Last round, and we've got 4 rounds per year. It's $25 million per fiscal year, according to and based upon the legislature's program. So we've got that deadline coming this week. We'll have 2 more rounds after this one. So if you have a bridge that you're concerned about, I encourage you to get your highway district folks. First of all, I work in that program, so call me if you need additional help. I'd be glad to do that. Secondly, report on the County Priority Projects Program, CPPP. I always forget that. It's easier to say LARP. So on that program, it's $20 million per year. We have just submitted as of November the 1st. The list of roads from the cities and counties that have been submitted. Altogether statewide, 1,210 roadway segments for approximately a value, an estimated cost of $124 million, I think. And of course, there's $20 million for the program. So that tells you the need is 5 or 6 times what we've got. So encourage your legislators, if you would, not only the bridge program, but this road program for cities and counties. It's hard enough to get funding, and I don't have to tell you all that. So please encourage them. Here locally I looked at it this morning a bit, in the Pennyroyal Area Development District, there were about 100 roadway segments that were recommended and listed, and probably an estimated cost of about $10 million. So all those won't be funded, certainly. Last year, during the same process, they chose only the roads that were ranked 10 or the worst roads, which is understandable. This year, that's approximately between 30 and 40% of the roadways that were recommended scored a 10. So look forward to that. I guess the legislature will meet, they'll select. We've built a data center to put all those pictures in. I'm just kidding. A picture every 300 feet was required for that program. So with that, I'll take any questions that you have, or anytime you need me, certainly give me a call. So thanks for having me, and thanks for the vet. Today is the Marine Corps birthday, so Semper Fi to all those that served in the Marine Corps. Thank you.
Thank you. We have with us Mr. Hollis Alexander, familiar face. He's with Cato now. Would you like to say anything?
Oh, just say thank you for letting me be here.
All right.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, very familiar
Good
face.
to be back.
All right. We will move to the staff reports. First up, Community and Economic Development, Amy Froh.
Good afternoon. Got a few things that I want to cover with you all really quickly before I turn this podium over to one of my coworkers. Each year, we are required to update our CEDS, or our Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy for the region. This document serves as our roadmap for economic growth and resilience in the region, and that planning process is coordinated through EDA, or the Economic Development Administration, and the Department for Local Government. So each year, we do an annual update to that document, and that document ensures that our region's projects align with both federal and state priorities, while also reflecting the needs that you all have here in our local communities. 2025 is a regular update year, with our full rewrite will be taking place in 2027. This year's update primarily reflects demographic and economic data changes, including shifts in the population, workforce, and industry trends. This update also maintains compliance with EDA's planning standards, and it reaffirms our goals for the region. One of the elements in this document is our regional project list. And it is one of the most critical portions of the CEDS. It identifies specific projects in each of our counties that we choose to pursue federal and state funding to complete those projects. Most federal agencies are now requiring those projects to be listed in the CEDS, and through the application process, we have to show a tie between the CEDS document and those projects. So with that, I would ask, if you have not had an opportunity to review that list, please take a little time to do so. And we'll get that updated with your current and upcoming projects. You can let myself or Angela know if there's something that we may have missed that does need to be included in that. These updates are due by December 1st of each year. So with that, in your packet, you will find a resolution adopting this year's update of our annual CEDS, and I will turn it back to the judge for action on that.
All right. We have in your packet resolution 2025-02. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
You may have said this, but they can find that on our website.
Yes, it can be found on our website, and we will, if it's not too big, we may try to email out a copy of that entire document. Also in your packet, you'll find a couple of notice of funding opportunities relative to the opioid settlement funds. There are 2 opportunities that are currently open now through December the 19th. One for prevention and then one for treatment and recovery. Again, both of these application windows will close on December the 19th. You can apply for either a 12-month or a 24-month project period with a maximum application of up to $1 million per project. There is no match required with either one of these opportunities, but it is highly encouraged. A couple of the restrictions with these funds: they cannot be used for land purchase, construction, or for vehicle purposes. So just some highlights from the prevention NOFO. These are projects to support prevention-focused efforts to reduce opioid misuse and overdose. And this can be done through education, youth engagement, and harm reduction. And then on the recovery and treatment side, that is programs that provide or expand treatment and recovery support services for individuals with opioid use disorder. If any of you all have an interest in applying for those funds, again, most of these funds will go to support staffing, programming, and operational costs associated with those activities. Just let us know if you are interested in applying for those funds. Also, in your packet, you'll find your intergovernmental review report. There are 3 projects listed there for your review and comment. If you have any input on any of those projects, please let us know and we'll include that in that review process. Mark your calendars for December the 1st for our quarterly committee meeting day. The Regional Transportation Committee will be meeting at 10 o'clock here in this room on the 1st, followed by the Water Management Council at 11:30. And that Water Management Council meeting will be our annual SRF project ranking meeting. So please make time to attend that meeting if possible. I believe Mike has finished up all 9 of our county ranking meetings. And so between now and the 1st, he'll be taking those county rankings and putting them into a regional ranking. Those meeting notices and agendas will be coming out via email in the next week or so. Also, in your packet, there is a training flyer for a physical and cybersecurity for critical infrastructure course on December the 3rd, beginning at 8 o'clock, again, here in this room. Jamie has made sure that these trainings that have been offered are eligible for DLG training credits. I believe this one coming up is for 8 credits. So if you have not finished your annual training hours, please use this as an opportunity to obtain those credits. And now I'm going to turn it over to Brian Jones to present a loan.
Good afternoon, everybody. You should have a loan summary sheet in your packet there to review. We've had a loan application be submitted to our revolving loan fund from Mark and David Coran of Bruco in Muhlenberg County. If you have that sheet in front of you, you can see the total loan amount there on the sheet with Farmers Bank and Trust in the first position. PeADD will hold the second position on that loan, contributing $200,000 to the project. This loan is to purchase the former Brewer Machine building on Front Street in Central City. They will move Bruco into this property while holding the existing building for future expansion. The first paragraph there is a brief history of Bruco, which has been in business for 35 years. Mark and David Coran started Coran Mill Machinery, doing business as Bruco to purchase Bruco in January of 2024. The proposed project is expected to create 8 full-time positions initially, with growth of 16 full-time positions within 2 years. The project will retain 32 existing full-time positions. As you'll see, this partnership is with Farmers Bank and Trust, who has a long banking history with Bruco. We have reviewed their underwriting and presented it to our loan committee for a couple weeks ago and received their approval to move forward to be able to present this loan to the full board for approval.
Any questions regarding this loan? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve recommendation. Got a motion? Is there a second? Second. All right, motion and second. Once again, any other questions? Yeah, or any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, we will move to Health and Family Services, Miss Amanda Stokes.
Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. All right, so first off, I would like to provide a quick update for you all over the last couple of months with our senior nutrition services. On September the 8th, we were notified by the Department for Aging and Independent Living that an additional allocation that had been anticipated for senior meals would not occur due to a budget shortfall. We quickly worked to calculate how that would impact us and determined that we were the second ad in the state that would run out of funds to provide senior nutrition services. With that, we had multiple meetings and determined that we needed to quickly take action because at that time we had approximately 767 clients that we were serving with those meals. So on on September 30th, we made the announcement that as of October 1st, our meals would reduce from 5 times weekly to 3 times weekly in order to try to stretch that funding for as long as we could make that last. Then on October the 21st, the Department for Aging and Independent Living made the announcement that they had received an additional allocation for $9.1 million to secure through the rest of the year. That amounted to 1.86 million for the Penny Ryle region. With that, we are able to sustain the senior meals program with home delivered meals through the end of FY 26. However, that does not allow us to continue to work toward eliminating the waiting list for the 9 counties with the home delivered meals program. That will just sustain through the end of FY 26. Currently, we have about 730 meal clients. And as of November the 3rd, we were able to increase back to 5 times weekly with those meal services. So anyone who was involved in that process at all, we want to extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude for all of the amazing advocacy efforts that were made to bring this the attention that it needed and that call to action so that the funding could be secured for that service. With our clients, they are extremely relieved that the service is back in place 5 days a week. For many of them, it's a meal, it's wonderful nutrition, but it's beyond that. It's knowing that somebody is coming to check on them 5 days a week. That may be the only person that they have contact with on a regular basis. So it means so much to them. So again, for anybody involved in that process, thank you so very much. We are also gearing up for our FY 27 through FY 29 procurement process. I've got a tentative timeline up here where we will be releasing that in February with the submission deadline in March of 2026. And we will plan to make the recommendation to the PeADD Board of Directors on May the 11th. With this procurement, we will be looking at all of the Older Americans Act services, our federally funded services, as well as our home care state-funded services. Our first meeting with the RFP committee is scheduled for December the 10th at 1:30 here in the boardroom. Primarily, that first meeting will focus on some general education about state and federally funded services, our prior procurement processes, as well as looking at the structure for this upcoming procurement process. At this time, we are seeking individuals who want to volunteer to serve on that RFP committee, and their roles would be related to development of this upcoming procurement, as well as scoring proposals next year. If you are interested in that process and would like to volunteer to serve on that, please let me know. Here is my contact information. You can reach out to me. I will also be available after the board meeting is finished today if you have any questions about that or would like more additional information. Also, I would like to call your attention to some items that are in your packet. You will find the Health and Family Services report for August and September. That's a good recap of all of our services. You will also notice a waiting list for services. And again, even with that additional funding that was secured, those waiting list numbers will continue to go up. November is also National Caregiver Month. So the Department for Aging and Independent Living is hosting a Coffee and Conversations with Caregivers virtual conference. We are excited to be able to offer a local watch party for all caregivers, and that will be on November the 19th of 2025. That's in your packet. That is from 8 to 12. And the last item is the Forgotten Angels Project. There is a handout in your packet, and that is for individuals that are residents at our personal care homes where they can be adopted, and we supply Christmas gifts for those individuals. You can also make monetary contributions or purchase stocking stuffer items to help with that. The angel tree is in the front lobby if you were interested in adopting an angel today while you're here. Are there any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
While Jill's coming up here, I did want to say thank you to you all. I know we ask a little bit more of your time than we typically do regarding the meal situation, but your all's leadership and your conversations really helped us in the decision making that we had to move forward with. I know it helped PAX as well, so thank you all for that. I also wanted to say a big thank you to all of the programmatic staff that we have with Amanda and her group, and then with our financial team, Hayla Swaw and her group. They were doing various projections at all hours of the night as we would receive different information, when funding, when would we be getting funding, or when would funding be going away. So I appreciate all of our staff for what they did in making this situation better off definitely than where we were. I think it brought a lot of light to the home delivered meal program for sure. Which we all knew it was important, but I think that a lot more folks know how important the home delivered meal program. I will just mention a little bit about going forward. Amanda talked about what we're looking at between now and the end of the fiscal year, but moving forward through the next legislative session. What we have been asked to do by our legislators, as well as the governor's office. And I want to thank the governor's office for what they did in finding the additional funds, and all of our legislators for working through this situation as well. But what we have been asked to do is basically provide two scenarios for our legislators. One scenario saying, okay, this is the amount of funding that it would take to continue as is, to continue with basically the same number of individuals that we're serving today. Okay. So we'll be providing that to our legislators. The second scenario is, and Amanda talked about how at this time, we will not be removing individuals off of our wait list. So what we'll be providing to our legislators is what it would cost for us to fully fund our current client load, plus what it would cost to clear that wait list. Now, that wait list changes every day. And in fact, since we've been on our hold, Amanda, how many have we added to our wait list just since?
Over 100. There's currently 174 individuals on that waiting list.
So that just shows you how quickly that wait list does evolve. So again, two scenarios that we'll be submitting to them, and we'll probably be calling on you all for those advocacy efforts. Again, there's no doubt it's important to the legislature. It's important to the governor's office. So I really think it won't be hard to come to a solution. It just depends on what solution they come to going forward. So just stay tuned for that. Sorry to jump in, Jill, but
No problem.
go ahead.
No, and again, everything you said, Jason, is so important with our nutrition program. And I do want to thank Amanda for her very thorough and very good report. I think she's doing an excellent job. And in her new role as Aging and Independent Living Director, leading us forward with the procurement and what's coming in the future with this nutrition program. Also, I want to thank all of our veterans in the audience today. Thank you for your service. And so with this month hosting Veterans Day, I do want to provide an update on our veteran-directed care program. As you all know, we are one of 4 super hubs in the nation for the veteran-directed care program, and we have seen a massive expansion over the last several months. We currently have working relationships with 12 VA medical centers, and those are located in 6 different states. And we currently have subcontracts with 19 spoke agencies, which are other area agencies on aging in those communities that are boots on the ground serving the veterans that are enrolled in our program. Currently, as a result of our expansion, we're serving 461 active clients through our veteran-directed care program, with 95 that are in a pending status, which means they're somewhere in that enrollment process. So you can tell that we've seen some significant growth in that program over the last several months. And I would like to thank our program staff and also our financial management staff, because that has been a group effort to get us to where we are with the program. This is just a list of our subcontracted spoke agencies that we work with. They provide the in-person case management for the veterans. You can see them all listed out here. The next update I want to provide regarding our veteran-directed care program is our software. Back in the summer, we did go through a procurement process in an effort to secure software to help us streamline some of the functions for our veteran-directed care program as a result of the expansion. We went through that process, carefully reviewed those proposals that we received, and we did decide to basically build a software from the ground up that is customized to the needs of our agency. So we are with a group, the software is called Nexus. This is a data system that's built on a secure by design foundation. All the data is protected. We have data privacy standards. This software program supports both the program side and the financial management side. We're somewhat unique in the design for our program in that we conduct all the financial management services here in-house. We're payroll and all FMS pieces. So we needed a program that could provide the program piece that we needed in a software as well as the financial management piece. And so we are moving along in that process. We have several aspects that have been successful, but they're still in a trial basis, and there are more functions to roll out in the future to help support our FMS functions as well. And one other thing that I would like to point out is that Nexus accomplishes some of these tasks by using artificial intelligence, AI. And so I do think that this is our first dive within the Health and Family Services Department with AI. And so we will continue to provide updates on what that looks like as we get further along in that process. This is a list of our staff with our VDC program. We have added a couple of new people to the VDC team as a result of the expansion. That includes Harley McCarty, who's now the Veteran-Directed Care Coordinator, as well as Jessica Davis, who is a support program specialist. Once we get through the transition with our software, we do see that there will be opportunity for further expansion in that program. And so I am excited to see what happens with that after the first of the year and as a result of our new organizational structure within the Health and Family Services Department. I do have a couple of new staff that I would like to introduce today. So the first one is Madison Collins. Madison is new to us. She's been here about a week, and she will be working as a case manager with our home and community-based waiver program. And she has a strong background in working with families and children. So welcome, Madison. Next, I would like to introduce Kaylee Baker. Kaylee is also a case manager with our home and community-based waiver program. Kaylee is a social worker with a history in long-term care and skilled nursing facilities. She also has a very interesting background in the bourbon industry as an executive bourbon steward. So she knows everything bourbon history, production, and so in her free time, she does a lot of extra work with that. So Kaylee's been with us since September, but we haven't had the opportunity to introduce her to the board. So welcome, Kaylee. Next, I would like to recognize a staff member who has just completed a major accomplishment, Harley McCarty, if she could stand. Harley just recently graduated from the U.S. Aging Leadership Institute in Arlington, Virginia. She is the 6th staff member from our agency who has been selected to participate in this Leadership Institute. She completed it and graduated. So congratulations, Harley, on this accomplishment. So I am very pleased with the solid leadership that we have in place for our Health and Family Services Department moving forward. I do believe that today will be the last board meeting that I speak with the board regarding our program updates. Next month, we will be at the state park. So I do want to take the opportunity. Thank you all for supporting Health and Family Services and all of our programs. And again, I just encourage you to provide that continued support with our new team, our new leadership team that is in place. They've been doing a great job since July, And there's a lot of great things on the horizon for Health and Family Services. And so I think you'll be hearing a lot more exciting updates after the first year. So thank you all.
Thank you, Jill. Jill has done a wonderful job for many years for the PeADD office, with Health and Family Services in this veterans program. So let's give her a round of applause. All she has done is speaking. All right, next up, we have West Kentucky Workforce Board, Derek.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Two quick questions. Real quick, we've already talked about veterans, but show of hands, if you're a veteran, please raise your hand. All right, how many military-connected families or spouses do we have in here? Military spouses, military-connected families? You have an uncle, aunt, somebody? Thank you for your service, right? The veterans, while we're in, we get to go have a lot of fun. Sometimes more than we should, but it's the military spouses at home who have to hold things down. And we really support your effort and your commitment. Second question, who thinks my glasses look pretty cool? Show of hands. Nobody? Truth. Thank you so much. Honesty, I appreciate it. So let me talk about this real quick because somebody asked me why am I wearing Elton John's glasses. There's a friend of mine at church, her daughter, and then last week at the food distribution event, somebody said, is that Tony Stark? No, it's not. So like a lot of veterans, unfortunately, I suffered a traumatic brain injury during my time in the military. Had a great time. Unfortunately, this is one of the things you get stuck with. So since August of 2013, I have to do public math. August of 2013, I've had a headache on some scale every single day, right? And so that might be a 10 is going to the hospital for medication. And a 1 is just, it's a low, dull, dragging day. And so unfortunately that happens, but my neurologist said, hey, try these glasses. They'll make you look pretty cool. And if it helps with your headaches, awesome. It's not as expensive as Botox, I can tell you that much. So all that being said, I appreciate it. I'm going to talk a little bit about a few, events, really community events that have been going on, the way they've been supporting our veterans. I tell folks, I did 2 things in life I never thought I would do. I joined the Army and I stayed in Hopkinsville. And ultimately, the military brought me back to Hopkinsville, right? As a kid, never thought I would stay here, but my military service brought me back home. And it's been great to see our communities really engaging with our military community as much as they have. I'd also like to say thank you to anybody who attended last Friday, the statewide workforce and talent team tour with our Education and Labor Cabinet Secretary, Jamie Link. It was a great opportunity to hear from all of our West Kentucky workforce partners, how we collaborate and what a great job we do in working for our, working for our clients. So talking about some of the community events, I'd like to talk about one in the Purchase area. Our friends from the city of Paducah partnered with West Kentucky Community and Technical College, along with the organization Next Op, to help transitioning service members connect with local career and educational opportunities. It was a really great event. They hosted service members and some veterans from across the country, not just local area, to visit Paducah. And 2 of the folks were actually from Paducah. One was there, unfortunately, because of a death in the family. So a really terrible sequence of events, but it's great to have the community come out and welcome him as best they could. The goal for the next event set in May is going to be 20 families. We're hoping to have 20 families or service members, veterans come to attend. In September, Madisonville Salutes. I got to participate in this day. It was a fun, patriotic, fun-filled day, so to speak, with celebrating military service and community. It was really cool to see the traveling Vietnam, the Vietnam Memorial Wall, and the World War II Memorial as well. There was some live music and some vendors. I had a table set up, so it was nice to see some old folks, some old faces I'm familiar with from Fort Campbell who happen to live in the area. And Tyson Food provided lunch, so that was excellent. I think I ate 12 grilled chicken sandwiches, which I'd like to say is why my collar is tight, but we've had Halloween since then. Judge Whitfield, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you have anything you'd like to say about the Madisonville Salutes event or even the recent Veterans Day Parade.
We had a great parade yesterday, good ceremony beforehand. A lot of people showed up. So I still think it's the biggest Veterans Day parade in the state.
Excellent. The Madisonville Salutes, the event was really nice. They had a hot rod car show, which was interesting. I didn't know where to park when I first got there, right? Didn't know I was parking in what was going to be the hot rod car show parking lot. So at the end of the day, I'm leaving and I'm parked behind or next to a Corvette Stingray and a 57 Chevy, and they are beautiful My car was wrapped up in, do not cross yellow ribbon. I wasn't sure if Mayor Cotton did that on purpose or if that was just because my front end was bumped and dented and they said, hey, don't award this guy anything. But anyway, moving on, recently, everybody's aware of the government shutdown and kind of what that's done to some of our local folks at Fort Campbell. Very recently, we had a community resource fair, which was great to see a lot of our local elected officials come together and say, what can we do to help this population? So in response to that shutdown, several of us came together November 4th and 5th. My coworkers, Karen Wallace and Eugenia Thornton Davis, participated in a resource fair at Valor Hall. We had about 85 customers come through that we had a chance to speak with. Talked a little bit about unemployment insurance, but really the focus was where do we go for food distribution, and who do we talk to about our utilities? And so there were some people there that were able to share some information with them if you have a question or concern about your utilities, how to take care of that. And then we provided information about food banks and information about the food distribution event that was coming up November 6th at Oak Grove Racing Gaming Hotel. I think we had about 500 bags of food were packaged. We had 160 cases of water that we handed out, first come, first served basis. But essentially, this was an event for everybody with a federal ID. So come through the line, you meet somebody up front, tell you how many gift bags or food bags you're going to receive, and off you go. But it was a well-run operation. Our friends from the Christian County Military Affairs Committee hosted that or coordinated that event. So it was nice to see so many people come out to support. And a lot of the people in assistance or that needed assistance happened to be employees of Blanchfield Army Community Hospital or the Department of Defense schools. And so both at the resource fair and the food distribution point, we had a lot of people coming through with, in scrubs, like they just took a lunch break, left the hospital and came right down. And I know at the end of the event, Shannon and Chris from the Military Affairs Committee loaded up a couple of vehicles full with potatoes and apples and everything that we had left over and took it on post to set up their own sort of distribution sites at the hospital and at the school. Talking about traditional stuff now, right? Workforce related activities and the Transition Assistance Program Office. So due to the shutdown, both the Transition Assistance Program Office, Career Skills Office, and our Spouse Employment Office, a lot of our coordinators there have been furloughed. So activities have kind of been slow to this point. We were starting to see them tick back up a little bit with some redeployments. So that was good to see more service members in the transition office to have an opportunity to engage with. But unfortunately, day-to-day activities have kind of slowed down a little bit. They still have contractor staff there working with everybody, but a lot of those normal activities have just been put on pause. I'd also have to say it was very surprising to see Miss Abrell Jones, one of the spouse employment program managers, come to the resource fair. She said, I'm not so much here for myself, but I'm here for some of the military spouses that are still reaching out to me. Where can we send people? And then to see her a day later come through the food distribution point. Again, you're not really sure who these things can impact, but to be able to see that and see them getting help was nice to be a part of. Moving forward, so I did have a pause play button right there. I wasn't sure if it should be pause, should be play, where we're going to be at with this shutdown. We're going to reopen. What are we going to do, right? We put some things on pause with regard to the transition program at Fort Campbell specifically, moving into the new year. Just need to wait and see what kind of activities we're going to be able to get on the schedule. We have to sit down and coordinate some of our monthly events with the folks down there. But we're very excited that things are getting closer to reopening. Since that's great. The Christian County Military Affairs Committee has also, as we talk about community engagement, has also coordinated a turkey giveaway on November 20th. It's going to start at 11 a.m. at Oak Grove Racing Gaming and Hotel. I'm sure they're going to need volunteers. USO is going to host their Holly Jolly holiday event as well. I don't have the date for that. That's always an amazing event. So if you'd like to participate in those, as soon as I have that information, I'll be happy to share it. And there's nothing really more fun than watching a kid come through and get a free toy, providing opportunities for kids that may not have it otherwise. So all that being said, can there be any questions? That concludes my report.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to new business, our monthly code of ethics report. There were no issues to report. And now moving to our director's report, Mr. Jason Benson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to everyone for being here today. One thing, Jill did mention that this is probably her last meeting speaking to the group. I did want to get something on your all's calendar. We are planning to have a little event for Jill after our January board meeting, January the 12th. So if you all would go ahead and get that on your calendars, formal invites will be going out between now and then, but I wanted to go ahead and do that. Jill talked a lot about the growth of the VDC program, our veterans program. But I also want to mention the growth that it's had on our finance team as well. You're talking 50, 60, 70 hours some weeks of the work that they're having to do to make sure that the program runs efficiently and effectively. And because of that, we have been adding additional staff for our finance team to hopefully help them to keep those 50, 60, 70-hour weeks from continuing to happen. I do want to say thank you to each of them for doing this. But Hayla, our deputy CFO, is in here, and we've got a couple of new team members on our finance team. So Hayla, do you want to introduce them real quickly?
I have Anjane Hill. She is going to be joining me on the waiver side of our finance team. And we have Michelle Brook. She's going to be joining us on the BDC side.
We are thrilled to have them join us, and as you can hear, most months here lately, you're hearing us introducing new staff members, which is a good thing for this organization. We're a growing organization. We're an aggressive organization in the sense that if there is a need in our region, we're going to work to try to fulfill that need. So, anyways, thanks to all of our staff for all of the work that they do. Really, the first thing on my list I need to do today is unfortunately have to announce the resignation of Mr. Sherman Shadoan. I'm sure some of you all in the room know Sherman, but he has recently announced his decision to resign from our PD&GC group, which is Pennyroyal Development and Governmental Center, which is the board that owns this building and our office building here at 300 Hammond Drive. And that board is appointed by you all. It's a 5-member board from around our 9 counties. But Sherman announced to us a couple weeks ago that he wishes to resign from that group. You know, Sherman, he's been with us a long time on our PD&GC group and helped us oversee he helped us oversee the construction of this room that we're sitting in right now, the remodel of our office area a few years ago, and just a number of projects that we've had here at this site. So, former mayor of Princeton, former judge executive of Caldwell County, served on this board, and so we hate to lose him in that capacity, but we know he has other things he needs to attend to. So because of that, I need to bring before you all an individual to replace Mr. Shadoan. In your packet, you will find a current listing of our PD&GC members. Again, as I said earlier, it is a 5-member board, so not every county is represented on this group, but you can see here the individuals that currently. And as you can tell by looking down that list, they are individuals that, for the most part, have either served on this board or have very close ties to the area development district. And that's for a reason, because we want the individuals that serve on this group to understand and know what the area development district does on a daily basis and the needs that we have facility-wise. So in thinking of a replacement for Sherman, an individual came to mind, Miss Gail Cherry from Princeton. I'm sure a lot of folks in this room know Gail. Gail, former mayor of Princeton, also served as the chair of our board for a number of years, and most importantly, Mr. Chairman, she was the chair when y'all hired me. So she
So we need to really consider this, right?
she does a fine job. But anyways, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would like to recommend that Ms. Gail Cherry, I did speak with Gail on last week. And she was excited about the opportunity. She knew that this board would have to formally appoint her to the group, but she was excited about the opportunity to become involved again. So.
Okay, all right. So we have a recommendation of Ms. Gail Cherry to this board. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, you have a motion and a second. Any questions? Not all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Mr. Chairman, saying on that same topic, if you look at this PD&GC board member list, you see that we have terms expire in 2005 or 2025, which we're about to end 2025. And then we also have terms that expire at the end of or during 2026. What I'd like to do, if we could, is just go ahead and reappoint these members to this group so that we can go ahead and catch those that will be expiring in 2025 and then those at the beginning of 2026. These are 3-year terms and we have them staggered here on purpose.
So we're recommending all,
Mhm.
okay. All right, you've heard our executive director. Is there a motion to approve reappointment of each listed here in front of you? Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
A couple of months ago, it was announced that there would be a Department of Homeland Security cybersecurity training here in this room on November the 13th, which is later this week. That has been postponed. And we're saying this a lot today. That has been postponed because of the government shutdown. The new date for that is January the 15th. So if any of you all in this were planning to come or any of your staff were planning to come on the 13th, I think they sent out an email to anybody that had registered, but just in case, if you would just go ahead and share that's been postponed to the 15th. For those of you all on the executive committee, be on the lookout. We will be calling a special called meeting of our executive committee sometime the week of December the 15th. This will be a virtual meeting, so we won't be asking you to come over because I know it's a very hectic time with things going on, but and I'll be working with you, Mr. Chairman, to finalize a date. But really the main thing we need to do at that meeting is to approve our audit. We have to have our audit approved and submitted by December 31st. And so we need to make sure we get that finished. We will also bring our audit report to the full board in our January meeting. So our auditor from Calhoun and Company will be here in our January meeting to present that. We'll also at this executive committee go ahead and present any needed budget amendments that we have at that time. So executive committee members, be on the lookout for that. And then finally, Mr. Chairman, in your packet, you will find an invite to our Christmas luncheon and legislative update. As in years past, it will be at Penarrow Forest State Park on December the 8th at 11:30. Mark your calendar for that. Invite your staff. We'd love to have them as well. But come join us to celebrate the season. I don't think there's really a better place to really get the feel of the holidays than Penarrow Forest. So always look forward to that meeting and we'll hope to have some of our legislators there with us as well to talk about the upcoming legislative session. Are there any questions for me? Well, if I don't see you before, happy Veterans Day. Also, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving holiday, and if I don't see you before, we'll see you in December.
All right, thank you, Jason. Is there any other business to bring before the board? If not, again, thank you to our veterans. And then also, it is the time, the season of being thankful. I think we should give our PeADD office a round of applause for all that they do for us throughout the year. So they can say thanks for good end. Hearing no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor may leave. If you oppose, you may stay.